Good morning. Oh wait, have to say hello and welcome. What am I doing? Hello, good morning, and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You join me and Jordan in Apex, North Carolina in a Rivian R1T. This is our buddy Ben's truck. We're at 5% state of charge, and we are on the way to the first ever Out of Spec meetup. Thank you to our sponsors for today's video, Eaton, Amber, InfyPower, and StarCharge. Eaton is a one-stop shop for implementing reliable and innovative EV charging infrastructure at your site. Across all applications, Eaton's EV charging infrastructure hardware and software gives you the scalability, flexibility, and intelligence you need to charge today and scale up tomorrow. Learn more at eaton.com/EVCI. Also, our sponsor, Amber, providing modern protection plans for your Tesla's battery and more, without the hassle of long-term contracts or upfront payments. Check out the link in the description to explore their plan options and use code SPEC5 for a 5% discount on all orders. And InfyPower is the largest EV charger module provider with over 3 million power modules running reliably worldwide. Their latest G2 collection features ultra-high power density and efficiency for EV charging and energy storage integration. InfyPower, innovation for your power. And StarCharge, the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world, and is also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage with microgrid solutions.
This is exciting.
I am really excited about this one because we are getting some of our viewers together, some of you guys may be watching, to celebrate the launch of IONNA's new charging network. And one thing that I think is really cool is that IONNA is like super into being involved with the EV driver community, so much so that they said, hey, if you want to host your meetup at our site and have your viewers stress test our brand new chargers, our brand new location, give us raw feedback, then let's do it. And I was like, that sounds like music to everyone's ears.
Yeah.
So that's what we're on the way to do. I think it starts at 10 a.m. It's currently 9 a.m.-ish. And we're going to go over and see what's happening at what they call the Rechargery. We're going on the way to their charging station, and a huge shout out to IONNA for letting us host the meetup here. And they kind of arranged most of it, to be honest. They had like a sign-up sheet that was really well done. Nothing we could have done, Jordan.
Yeah, and apparently it's very well signed up for. So I'm curious to see if it's really that well attended, but
yeah. I have no idea how many people to expect. Probably like 2 people will show up. At least we know some of our friends are here. We had dinner with them last night. But if you look ahead, we're on the way to our first ever Out of Spec meetup. So what's cool is this site is not open yet, but they're opening it today for us to learn about it. I'd like to charge this one now, if possible.
Yeah, 4%.
Yeah, I want to see what that process is like. So
Tom's here.
All the adapters.
That's Tom's truck. That's exactly, that's perfect right there.
So okay, hilarious. Should we just crash Ben's truck pulling right in here?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. Jordan, welcome to the IONNA station.
We're plugged in. Well, he's plugged
Tom
in.
and Pete here.
Hey.
So you guys, if you've seen our race to Florida, what do we call it?
Florida.
Yeah, with the 2 F-150s. These guys, it was a heated race.
Yeah, it was close. It was close.
Do you bring pizza machines?
And I have pizzas.
Oh, man.
2 pizza ovens and 15 pizzas.
It's a real party then. So we're going to take everyone on a full site tour. Are they? Yeah, it does. It's our event. Let's plug in, Jordan.
Yep.
Because I think, we pulled into a charging station.
4%.
A pretty dead Rivian. I don't think it's preconditioned.
No.
Will Ben freak out if I do that?
Only one way to find out if you watch this video.
Ben doesn't watch the video. So we've got 2 NACS stations down that way.
Okay.
So we'll take a look at those. This is still a CCS vehicle. So I think, yeah, it says you can charge 2 cars at the same time. So they, IONNA went for Alpitronic Hyper 400s, which is the correct choice.
Yeah.
These are really nice charging stations. You can see here, it says a couple things. So actually, rather than starting by plugging in, you plug in last, which I think makes sense. Because you know how sometimes it takes a while for payment to go through?
Yeah.
And then that could time out your charging session? This is my first time ever charging an IONNA.
Well, and a lot of people's default when they're first charging stop, they don't want to plug in yet because they're like, I want to figure out what's going on first.
Yeah. So they're charging 48 cents per kilowatt hour plus tax normally. For our event, they're just stress testing the payment systems, 1 cent per kilowatt hour.
Nice.
Basically free. So let's try it out. So I'm gonna select 4B.
Yep.
Yep. 4B. This is really nice. So I've selected it. I'm going to tap my card. $5 pre-authorization, not the end of the world. Authorizing. Still thinking. There we go. Thank you and approved. Okay, then plug in vehicle. Authenticating. Great, 2 cents per kilowatt hour. Damn, they doubled the price on it. So we'll take the cable out of here. Dude, these are nice. These are 600 amp oil cooled immersed cables. They're like, they feel like supercharger cables.
Yeah.
That is what people future. Need. And then we'll insert in and hopefully we'll start charging. I mean, it should be as simple as that. Contact.
It turned blue. That's fast.
It says preparing charging session. Hang tight. We're making sure all systems are a go before we power up. Our first ever charge at IONNA.
I like these screens.
Dude, this is exciting. This is nice. The integration with the Pater system, so cool.
Yeah.
That was really neat. So, okay, now we're going through handshake time and we're charging.
So not crazy fast, but not bad at all.
Not bad. I mean, I'm not really sure, you know, when you get into this level of having to support all the cars, if you can really speed up handshake time.
Yeah.
You've got a charging curve on here with volts and amps. It says average kilowatt instead of real-time kilowatt, but that's the same as Alpes in Europe. And then you've got all your data right here. So we're already up to 130 kilowatts.
Nice.
What should we charge Ben's truck up to? 85%? What's cool is these 400 kilowatt chargers can do dynamic power sharing, and they can go up to 200 kilowatts each. And what's cool is when they are split, they can still do 600 amps each simultaneously. So 1200 amp output. So you can max out 2 F-150 Lightnings, 2 Rivians, an EQS and a Rivian, and you don't have to share at all. It's really just for the high voltage cars that, you know, you kind of want to find one that no one's plugged into the other side.
But even then, like, what's the chance of them being low in their charging curve too? Like they said it's going to be rare when they actually do have to share.
Yeah, I really love this setup right here, where you know, if you roll up with a Rivian or any 400 volt car except a Tesla that requires more than, oh, I guess they can do 600 amps, so almost full send. Yeah, you're just going to get full charging power no matter what, which is amazing. And so then it goes back to the default screen, but I can come here to, instructions. That's cool. So it'll like tell you how it all works. Let's select pricing details. Oh, it says what a kilowatt versus kilowatt hour. Dude, this is so well thought out. We should almost go through all of this in like a separate video. Plug and charge. Cool. Amazing. It works now with BMW and Mercedes-Benz. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And then we can go to active sessions, and you can see we're on 4B, and we're just cold on the battery pack, but it's boogieing. Cool. Amazing. And we're going to be basically stress testing this site throughout the day. So starting in about 45 minutes, there are time slots to fill every single port up here and rotating cars, and it's completely booked through the whole day.
They're saying, well over 100 people. I'm curious who actually shows up, but yeah.
That's like 100 people charging.
Yeah, you're right.
That's crazy. So it's going to be awesome to see this thing get through. They're just putting some finishing touches, leaf blowing.
Nice.
Before the party happens, before we start filming, of course. Yeah. And I'm thrilled. This is epic. Here we are, just a few minutes in. You can see the Rivian battery is warming up, which means charge power is increasing on this large battery pack at the moment. And Jordan, how are things looking over here?
175 kilowatts.
175 kilowatts. Seems like it's taken a while, but that's just Rivian charging. Yeah. By the way, Rivian updated with a new software update, which should be out kind of now, that they improved charging, I heard, in cold weather. Okay. So maybe it will ramp up to full power a bit sooner.
Yeah.
which is great. But this still isn't bad.
We weren't preconditioned or anything, so I'm not. Yeah. But
Yeah,
still,
we're not here to blame Rivian now. But there we are, charging here, and Tom's doing his lightning right over there. This is sick. Should we take everyone on a full tour of the station? Let's actually take a look at their NACS variant over here, Jordan. So there's 10 charging spaces, all under canopy, which is really nice. The lights will be installed this Friday.
Yep.
Again, it's still a little bit early. Dude, this is nice. Feel that, grab that. That's like a supercharger. That's better than supercharger V4.
That's nice.
And this can do, again, 600 amps up to 1,000 volts, either or. You know, total conversion power, 400 kilowatts. Really nice displays, nice screens. I think they did a really good job. My understanding, and from what I've heard, is that IONNA tested every DC fast charging provider out there.
Right.
They did these huge testing events, really getting, you know, everyone into these secret testing locations. 1 million sessions of interoperability between cars and different chargers. They settled on Alpitronic, and yeah, it's, I think, a great choice here.
I've heard they've been doing a lot of testing. I mean, Brandon Flash has been out here a lot. It's almost like he's just, you know, babysitting, lives here. And there's always different cars tested from other manufacturers. And they're really, I mean, today will be, like you said, a stress test of a lot of things. Everyone's showing up. Maybe some weird EVs too. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to see some odd stuff.
Yeah.
I heard, I don't even know what we're going to see, but we'll definitely see a bunch of different electric cars around here. So Tom's charging Lightning. This is all going to get maxed out here in a little bit. But I think we should go inside and take a look at some of the amenities here as well, because it's quite interesting how this is, yes, in a town. It's not like a highway corridor site, and there's a train.
That's awesome.
There you go, Amtrak ripping through. So you have an exit here, Jordan.
Yep.
But it says accessible entrance on the west side. Oh, you can also enter here.
Yeah.
The accessible one if you've got wheels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we'll show over here as well. So let's run over.
The main entrance seems to be over there.
IONNA's got this sick camper van of some kind.
Dang.
Yeah, they got like workstations in there. Look at that, an IONNA ProMaster.
That's cool.
That is interesting.
Oh, you're good.
So this used to be an old gas station here in town. And this was like an old gas pump. Hello guys. And yeah, they've got lights. They totally renovated this all within like the last 2 weeks, Jordan.
Yeah, it's really cool. I guess this was a gas station built 100 years ago. And so it's kind of cool that it's the 100th anniversary is like, it's going to be different fuel now.
Yeah, exactly. So we should run inside. We've got water bottles and some catered events. Shout out to the Rivian Tracker YouTube channel and the Brandon Flash YouTube channel. And if you come inside, you can see, okay, totally different than when I was here just a few weeks ago. It's super nice. They've got like, you know, good LEDs around, vending machines, everything you would want while charging, Jordan.
We need like signs like this in our office.
How you feeling? Oh, that's so great. I love a good pun.
Right.
Charge like a local, Apex, North Carolina. I feel like we should get that sign put up.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the part that's open 24/7, I guess. This area here with vending.
Yes, and there's a QR code that's in the app, or somehow you get access to
The
it.
web app, yeah, the website, yeah.
Right, and you got to fill out like a little thing.
Yep.
And then they have private bathrooms down this way. So also, I guess, scan here. No one's in there. Let's show the bathrooms. That was so important. Wow, dude. This was just an empty, disgusting hole in the wall when I was here not long ago. But you've got everything you need.
Nice.
Okay, very cool. Sick. So that's all you need. You know, restrooms, vending machines, and then on this side, there's room for conference space and... Oh, wow, they've even got like a little cafe situation going on in here, so you can get some baked goods. I had no idea this was happening. Roll-Ups Bakery.
Nice. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So that's I mean, that's a unique factor, is like trying to do some of the local cuisine stuff. Like, you're not going to find like a McDonald's at a rechargery.
What's cool about this is this used to be a fueling station and a service station, and we're standing in the old service bay.
Yeah.
Back when cars were bigger, actually, but this is a really small space. Remember like those 90-foot long Cadillacs or whatever?
Yeah, well, at one point cars were smaller, and then they got bigger, and now we've settled into like medium.
Until you see Silverado EV out there.
Right.
Then huge. But essentially, yeah, you've got this old service center. I love that it's all reclaimed and redone.
Cool old
as
garage
sort of a,
yeah.
you know, sort of resting area. You got some games over here. Wow, you can choose a bunch of them. That's cool. My dad would love this. And then you have private office space that you can use oh, I have to scan, but this one's open. They've got 2 of them basically. And then you've got, you know, a place to host a out-of-spec meeting.
Yeah. Or a lot of people can come and charge and then take a Zoom meeting or something. It's like a private, a bit echoey.
I'm curious to see if this works, because we've seen a few different lounge concepts. Like I'm thinking BK Worlds that have tried to incorporate private space, and they were like, oh, some sketchy stuff was going on in there, and they ended up taking it away. So I'm not sure what we'll see in the future with this, but it could be interesting to see how that all plays out. So back outside we'll go. So Jordan, what are your initial thoughts on the location of the site? Because again, we're here in the middle of basically a small town and not near any major highway. Does this make sense to you?
I mean, it does and it doesn't. Like for us, road tripping enthusiasts, we would like it to be right on the highway.
Yes.
But then it's usually a bit noisier, a bit, I don't know, it feels less cozy. Like this actually is like near Old Town, quote unquote, apex. And I think for a lot of people who maybe don't have home charging, this is actually an ideal spot. Like they don't want to go to the highway to charge.
It's a great point. I think IONNA is going to definitely have a mix of mostly highway corridor charging. I've seen they've partnered with Sheets, which is one of my favorite fueling retailers. Love Sheets, holy Sheets.
Well, yeah, we all tried to hit that on the I-90 surge.
Yeah, Sheets is great. And so they're going to be at a bunch of them, and I'm pretty sure like a bunch of stations are already pre-built, like a handful.
Yeah.
And we'll go live very soon. And so anyway, that's the tour of this site, which is a beautiful location in a really cool town.
Yeah.
Perfect for urban charging here.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I want to see them do more. Obviously, they're exploding. They're trying to have 1 million chargers by, not 1 million.
What is the number? It's like 30,000
by 2030.
Okay, we'll see if they hit
charge
that.
points, like plugs.
Ports,
which would be impressive. And I hope to see a mix of urban charging like this, but also highway, like road trip charging. But this feels cool. This feels unique. This feels, I don't know, a little special.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could do all of them that way. A lot of them might feel quote unquote stale or
just some chargers.
Yeah. Which for a lot of people,
certainly,
like they're just trying to charge and leave.
But this does feel special. This is cool.
Yeah, I like seeing a place you can hang out and actually charge. But it is interesting. Like we're trying to see cars to get faster at charging, but we're also trying to build more places for you to hang out for longer charging sessions. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Can we just talk about IONNA for a second, why we're working with them?
Yeah.
I think it's really important. IONNA is really the first major network in this country to launch without punishment or penalty. Mercedes network, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But Mercedes is also part of IONNA.
Yep.
But like EVgo started from an Enron scandal, Electrify America, Dieselgate.
Yeah.
And this is like just automakers got frustrated. 8 of them got together, funded this. And now it's, a JV, a separate company, obviously, but here to provide high quality customer focused charging. That's what they tell us. Based off my experience today, seems about right. And the reason we wanted to host our meetup here, Jordan, was I think it's so important that IONNA works. I think they needed to hear the raw feedback from our viewers, the nerdy EV drivers, to say this is what we want to see. Everyone coming here today has experienced DC fast charging, experience with every other brand. They're our viewers. They know what's up.
Yeah.
And so they have like IONNA people will have clipboards taking notes, taking feedback, and will really, hopefully build sites based off of what they learned today.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have all the super nerds here to really stress test it and give feedback, see what's going on. Of course, us giving feedback, but also like they'll have the rollout of the average community also showing up. So you need it to work for the super nerds. You need it to work for people who have never charged before. And so how do you find that balance? And I think they're probably gonna do a good job.
Yeah, based off this experience, you tap which port you want to go into, and then you're good to go. I mean, I'd love to see what happens if you don't exactly follow their workflow or flow chart, I should say.
What will we break today? What
we're going to try and break something. So yeah, we're going to be ripping on these chargers all day, which will be awesome. Their demand charge is going to be through the roof. And can't wait to see how this thing goes. So they've got food, they've got snacks. They did a really nice job. Shout out to Catherine and everyone at IONNA for arranging this event for us. All we did was say show up.
Yeah.
And they did all the hard work. So, there she is. Thank you very much. So, they're absolutely awesome. And there we go. That's the event. Let's go meet some viewers. Jordan, you can share the vlog of the rest of the trip.
Let's do it. All right, 75%, we're good enough here. 100 kilowatt hours delivered, dang.
No issues.
$2. Nice.
Please keep the pricing like that.
You guys were last year, I think.
So I think 75% good enough. People are lining up, people are filtering in, so it is time to get this thing stopped, unplugged, and we'll move the party on the road. We got big things taking juice up here pretty soon. Stop. Are you sure you want to stop? Confirm. I like the actual confirmation process. There we go. So just took a couple seconds. Charging port turned back to white. Removing the super easy one. See, typically I would have trouble filming with one hand on CCS cables, but no longer with these Alpitronic perfect units.
So we are ripping 300 plus kilowatts on the Hummer right now. You came all the way from Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, thank you so much. And here comes Walter from the Network Architect channel rolling up in the Lyric. Super cool. So I've been wanting to meet Walter for a while. Definitely subscribe to his channel if you don't. He covers the rollout of IONNA and many others. So this will be his first experience charging here at the IONNA station, which should be awesome. He's got this really good looking Lyric. Yeah, can't freaking wait. This will be fun. So now we've got some power sharing action going, roughly 200 kilowatts on each side. Hell yeah. So what are we doing? EV6 and Hummer at the same one. So that's pretty sweet. Ripping 400 kilowatts out of here. By the way, dead silent, which is really cool.
So you're probably wondering, how are all these people fitting? There's not much parking over at the Rechargery. Well, we're over here at the town hall of Apex, where there's a huge parking lot and a lot of cars, and I guess a little walking path so I can go back over those train tracks to get back to the Rechargery. But it's cool. The water tower conveniently really is like a place where everyone can just use as a landmark to find this place. All right, so we've had a lot of cars filtering out. We've been charging now for, I guess, an hour and 15 minutes. And you were one of the first ones. Go ahead and introduce yourself and what you drive.
Sean Meadows, I'm in a 24 Hummer.
Huge Hummer.
SUV.
The biggest thing charging here so far today.
Good session.
And I guess, what did you think of the process? I mean, if we walk over here, I guess we could kind of look at it. So as someone who just, showed up, plugged in, of course you are an EV enthusiast, because I think most people here are.
Yes, sir.
But how did you think of the whole process and how easy or challenging it was?
Pretty easy. The handshake was, I'm used to Tesla with my wife's car, but
Right.
handshake was a little longer, but not bad, about 30 seconds. Charging curve is great.
Yeah.
I came in at a fairly low state of charge and I was preconditioned.
Yep.
But I ran a little over 300 kilowatts until it started sharing with the one next to me, and they ran 200 each.
Okay,
So
nice.
fantastic. I went from about 17 to 57 in 20 minutes.
And that was you next to someone who is probably also pretty low. So statistically, you're
yeah.
pulling in here, someone's already probably riding their curve up, dropping the power. So you probably could have taken maybe even more.
I could have took more, but I was able to charge the first 5 minutes or so by myself, and
Yep.
it hung around 300.
Nice,
So
nice.
fantastic. But sharing at 400,
Yeah.
200 apiece, that's great.
That's really
Fantastic.
great. Yeah, it's usable charging. And
Absolutely.
I mean, what's your impression of the whole, you have all the stuff in there, a place to
Oh,
hang out.
It's fantastic, but in my mind, the most important thing is it has to work.
Right.
When I'm traveling, it has to work. When I
Right.
plug in, I don't want to see the blank screens. I
Yeah.
want it to work. So if they can get that down.
And how was your road trip up here? I mean, tell folks where you came from.
I came from just outside of Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is in the very southwest corner of Louisiana.
Right.
About 2 hours from Houston, 20 miles from the state line of Texas.
So
in
how many
Louisiana.
hours and miles did you drive to get here?
It's about 1,200 miles.
Wow, okay.
Roughly 1,180 or so.
Yep.
I took my time. Wasn't
Yeah.
in a hurry. Hummer's not very efficient, so.
Yep.
But if you slow down, it's really not too bad. I got 1.8.
Okay, not too bad, yeah.
I use Tesla most of the way because of
Convenience and
convenience, and it's not as fast on charging the Hummer, but much more affordable.
right. Looks like we got someone maybe coming in here, but so yeah, I mean, you and a lot of other people here have road tripped to here, and I'm always curious, your impression of this spot versus all the spots you stopped at on the way here.
It's in town. I think this will probably be a ride share,
Yep.
locals kind of stop. I don't see the highway passers,
Yep.
but maybe.
Okay, yeah.
I don't see it. They need to be like Tesla and EAs, right on the highway.
Right,
They
right.
have to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's like my hometown. I couldn't tell you what it's like to plug up around my hometown because I don't do it.
Right.
Charge at home.
Right.
but when I'm on the road, I want them close.
Yep.
So shout out to my buddy Ben, who works for the local Porsche store here. His colleagues brought over, Ben's on vacation, that's whose Rivian we were driving. They brought over a Macan and a Taycan here on display, which is really cool to have both of these here. Of course, they brought this one because it's so close to the Cannonball spec that we just used. Oh, this one's got a nicer interior, I will say. This thing's sick. 320 kilowatt charging on this one. I wonder if it's low enough or if they have it preconditioned or anything. So let's see what the heck this thing's charged to. No, way too high, way too high. So that's not going to get any big boy charging speeds. And then you've of course got the Provence Macan over here. So shout out to Ben for bringing these over.
All right, we've got the Fisker Ocean getting ready to charge and a Disney edition Ioniq 5 pulling in. Love to see all the various editions of cars. I mean, we're in this day and age where, you know, 10, even 5 years ago, there was a handful of EVs. And now we have, I don't know, at least 40 different EVs probably at this event, if you include different trims and battery sizes. And I mean, look at this. You never see these. Cybertruck is rocking not actually great speeds, but he didn't actually precondition on the way here, so that could be a part of it. And that is a thing to consider. Although these do have NACs and work with obviously all the Teslas filtering through here, to actually precondition to get your Tesla to the right temperature, you'd have to select the nearest supercharger to here on your way here. So you kind of have to know how to get here, but then navigate to a supercharger so the car knows to precondition. And this Acura actually has been charging here. Our friend Sky has been charging on the NACs, and it's got a great charging session, 5 to almost 50% in 15 minutes. I mean, not amazing charging session, but it sat pretty flat at like 180, 190 kilowatts. So that's almost Mercedes-like. All right, I found Kevin here, and a cool thing about these events, I mean, you've been to a lot of events, probably Tesla events if I had to guess, but just EVs in general is like obviously the community. I mean, you have a lot of other creators here as well. Got Raphael right there. And what's your channel? I mean, you also do some filming.
Yeah, I do. I have a small YouTube channel. It's under my personal name, Kevin Kingsmore.
Yep.
Last name Kingsmore. And I drove up here from South Carolina. It's about a 4-hour drive.
Okay.
To see you guys and to try out these new chargers. I had this idea years ago, and although IONNA did not get the idea from me, of creating a retro gas station type, you know, station that had, but it was full of chargers instead of petroleum stations. And I really love the retro design of these chargers. I think it's so cool, combined with the old style gas station there, but it's got modern facilities in it. It's just, if they'll put these all over the country, I think that'll be a big hit.
Yeah, and so you drove, I'm guessing you have a Cybertruck based on your hat and shirt.
Yeah.
And you plugged in already?
Yeah, I charged my Cybertruck. I pulled in out of spec style with 5% state of charge.
Nice.
And I was able to charge, I think it got up to a little over 200 kilowatt.
Okay.
But my battery pack was cold.
Yeah.
Which I didn't count on that, didn't factor that in to my plans. But yeah, I was able to spend 20 minutes on it. And I think when it got down to around 100 kilowatt.
Yep.
And I was able to, I didn't check to see how much energy went in, but I know I'm at like 120 miles right now.
Nice.
So it'd be enough to get probably halfway home.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, what's your impression? Obviously, a Tesla driver, you know that 6-second handshake when you pull up to a supercharger. How was it charging for you on these?
Yeah, it was, I have a NACS car, I'm sorry, a CCS1 vehicle as well, a Ford Lightning.
Okay.
And it was reminiscent of charging, you know, a non-Tesla, because you have to authorize the payment with your credit card, and you have to go through some steps on the screen.
Yep.
So after doing that, plugging in, one thing I noticed that was odd is the NACS handle on these chargers is a lot thicker than the Tesla.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, kind of weird. But otherwise, you know, it was familiar to me since I have a non-Tesla that I charge frequently.
Yeah.
And but it was smooth, and I like it. You know, I like the screen on the side of these instead of the front, like Electrify America. You know.
Yep. Yep.
And so I think this will be a big hit even with the Tesla crowd.
So we've got an Energica charging over here. Dude, thanks for bringing it.
Of course.
And you're doing 19 kilowatts at 65%. It's like really not bad. What voltage are you at though? Wow, this is a high voltage, 319 volts up there. Yeah, you know, Tesla could only dream of that charging curve right there. Dude, this thing is sick. It's air cooled though, right?
Yeah.
So it'll get hot?
No, it has oil.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Nice. And have you taken it on any trips, like with multiple DC sessions yet?
I haven't.
Okay.
No.
But
I have a place out in western North Carolina. We're going to be taking it out there.
Oh, hell yeah.
In the springtime.
That'll be interesting. This thing is gorgeous. It's absolutely insane. And dude, we got to do a video on this one day. So more bike content on Out of Spec. This is freaking awesome.
Even an Energica showed up. He actually also owns a few Zeros, but the Energica is the only one that can DC fast charge, pulling 19 kilowatts. He actually usually sees a peak of like 16, so pretty good. But that's definitely one of the weirdest vehicles here. He actually had an initial charge issue, but I don't really want to blame IONNA because they haven't been able to test because no one has an Energica. So this is actually, engineers rushed over, they're like super keen to see it start and that they finally got it working. But super cool to see that pull up because we are in basically a sea of EVs and everyone here, I mean, you're not going to have a unique vehicle if you show up here, unless maybe you're Raphael with your crazy Cybertruck.
We got this, was it 2017, 2018?
18.
2018 rear drive Model 3?
It's full. This is a long range all-wheel.
Oh, it's an all-wheel. Okay, cool. Got the CCS retrofit, and it was just ripping 200 kilowatts. Yeah, still is. And then Don's Jules over here ripping, didn't come quite low enough.
No, well, I didn't plan well enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not the out of spec way. But Don's been on road trips many times. He knows the drill. He's
Mr. 2%.
Yep, 2%. That's right. And it's still boogieing. Look at that thing, just ripping 210 kilowatts.
That's this one here.
How many amps is it doing?
And then this one, which one?
1A.
Okay.
Let's see. 1A, 530 plus amps, and that's in split configuration, which is amazing because normal any public unit out there won't do much more than 540 or so.
Yeah.
And this is doing it while charging another car. So man, I love these Alpha units. Freaking ripping. Yeah, and the Model Y just was at high state of charge, Don. And but no, he's got this thing decked out.
You gotta open the door, Kyle.
Oh yeah? What's going on under here? Oh, you got freaking lights in here? What the hell? Is that distracting at night?
A little, but if we you got distractions. You enjoy being looked at.
Yeah. There we go.
You don't drive a Tesla if you want to be incognito.
That's right, especially not with Marianne. Yep, got it. That's amazing. Love it. Well, that's cool.
Did you see the radio?
How do you tie it to the door opening?
I don't know. That's that thing they changed.
Oh, with the 12 volt thing.
The 12 volt.
Oh, okay.
You gotta see the.
Oh, man.
Of course, my girl did that.
Well, she's got this thing decked out for the season.
That's right. My girl's got lots of holiday spirit.
That's right. Okay.
I showed him.
Okay.
Yeah, we got the lights. Nice work. I'm sure you had something to do with the lights.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like here, the Tesla Diva said, order this, go install it.
Yeah, nice. There you go. And it's charging well. That's awesome. Cool. So all is going well at the event so far.
Instead of that.
So Zeb, you've got a long range new S, and you saw 250 kilowatts.
Yes, it ramped up to 250
Hell
and
yeah.
stayed there until about 30%, and then it started slowly ramping back.
Yeah, and 3 and Y are a little bit lower voltage, so they won't get up to 250. I've seen like 212. Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
my Model Y.
This is the Model Y long range curve. Okay, shout out. That's awesome. But yeah, it's cool to see an S getting up to 250.
This is the Model Y long range. 250.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. Okay, cool. You guys have similar curves. So that's another Model Y long range.
Mine go down.
Yeah, you have a worse Model Y long range curve. Unless you charged at different percentages. What?
I started at 4.
You started at 4. You started at
2 to 54.
2 to 54, and you went to 30. Well, that makes sense. So yours It would look similar if you, because he stopped at 30. You went to 54.
I also have Tesla
Yeah.
fees, so
Man, this is cool. Charging curves. Hell yeah.
All right, so way over here at stall 1A, we currently have Raphael. You actually charged earlier as well, just a little bit. We're trying to kind of see how this truck does. Of course, people may know you as Teslatino, and this truck as a Arctic Explorer at this point.
Yeah, it is.
So before we get into this whole charging thing, I'm getting everyone's opinions on that, but I also just want to show this truck really quick. Yeah. I mean, can you take me on a quick tour and some of the things highlight things you've done?
Yeah, absolutely. So this truck, we worked on it quite a bit to get it ready for the Arctic, just because we wanted to make sure that we were not going to get stranded, also be able to be self-sufficient and all that good stuff. So what we did was basically convert it into like an overlander.
Yeah.
I use the front trunk as a closet. All our clothing goes there because it's dry all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then inside the cabin, the second row, the seats are always up.
Yeah.
So what we have is a fridge with our food, any cold food that needs to be in the fridge. And then we have a pantry on the back with a full kitchen setup on the back, and the rack that holds our rooftop tent and recovery gear. I have the Starlink dish to keep us communicated for both emergency and fun stuff.
Nice.
And that's like a high level overview. I can show you a little bit of those things.
Pop inside.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, it just looks epic on the outside. You got the bronze, what are these, unplugged wheels?
Yes, these are the CyberHex forged wheels from Unplugged Performance.
Really cool.
I have gear from Rotopax.
Yep.
I have gear from Inspired Overland and BF Goodrich KO3s. And then in the back of the truck,
nice,
we have our full camping setup. This was a 2-day drive, so I didn't bring everything that I usually have with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the firewood's not here. My floodlights, 2 of them are not here because I'm rewiring everything.
Okay.
But I usually carry 6 floodlights. This is our pantry right now. Nice. I actually have the groceries inside in bags.
Okay.
I just jetted out. I didn't have a chance to put them in here, but the groceries are in there. Then this is the ladder that gets us access to the rooftop tent. And then this guy here, that is basically our kitchen stove.
Nice.
So we have some utensils, coffee maker, and our 2-burner induction stove, like right here.
Yep.
And that's how I basically cook every morning, every afternoon, and every evening if I have to. Yeah.
This thing is sweet. You got a full-size spare in there, it looks like?
I have a full-size spare. It's an original Foundation Series Cybertruck wheel.
Okay.
With an original tire. Yep. And then because I replaced the original tires with off-road tires, I just wanted an extra, measure of safety.
Just in case. Yeah. And then I guess, on the interior, if you can show me any of the...
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and we have the water tank. So I have 7 gallons of water and 3 gallons here. And then I have a hot shower, solar shower back there tucked away. These Rotopax jugs are for putting out the firewood on the forest.
Yep.
Just to play it safe.
Yep.
And then I have a fridge here.
Okay.
But because the truck doesn't have a 12-volt connector, I'm using a portable battery that has a plug, and I have some stuff in there, basically water and
Oatly. The best.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So that's pretty much, this is probably the fastest tour. I'm actually going to do a full review of everything that I have because I get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But it can take us anywhere.
As a quick breeze through, it's pretty sweet. And it's got to be one of the highest mileage Cybertrucks, or the highest.
It is confirmed by Tesla, 52,587 miles right now.
And you've had for how long?
9 months.
9 months, amazing.
Yeah.
So like 4 times the national average of a year, but in 9 months.
Exactly.
And so now getting onto charging. I mean, how has this experience been for you as a avid EV road tripper?
I am really surprised about IONNA. Is it IONNA or IONNA?
IONNA, yeah.
Okay, so I was surprised that it's really actually seamless.
Yeah.
Everyone promises it's going to be a seamless solution, and not everyone. This was seamless, really. You just pick the stall that you're going to use.
Yep.
Swipe your card, and you're charging. It was surprising to me, honestly.
Yeah,
you have
you have to make it easy, because a lot of people are this may be their first charger ever, and they're like, they don't want to be overwhelmed.
Exactly.
So
you don't need to mess with apps and readers and all that stuff.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you've had a pretty good experience so far. Second charge now.
Yeah.
I mean, how many miles do you have to go to get home?
Almost 800.
Okay.
Almost.
Yep.
Like 780.
Yep.
So for me, this is like a short 1,600 mile round trip.
Yeah, nothing at all. The truck barely notices it.
It's fine.
So this is a launch green Rivian R1T, and tell us how you got this.
So there's a YouTube channel I follow, Out of Spec, and they had a promotion where they were helping promote a EV raffle for CCAN Action Fund. And I bought one ticket and had a dream, and then sure enough, I won. So yeah, this is the one that was featured on earlier videos in 2002.
That's crazy. Yeah, so Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund, that whole thing, we've done lots of cool promotions with them, including giveaways, and yes, they do exist. They're not scams. It's a real thing.
I had an option between this and a Tesla, and I hadn't, at that point, this was, 2022, I hadn't really seen a Rivian in person, and I had a pre-order for one. Right. So this was the easiest way for me to see, touch, and feel one, and I've been driving it ever since.
That's awesome. So how was your experience here now? I mean...
yeah, this has been pretty painless. I'm on the NACS charger, and I'm using my adapter to charge up, and pretty painless.
Works
nice,
just fine.
Yeah, just nice to walk up, pay, tap, and move on. I didn't have to use the app.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been charging. I kept it nice and low for us to get here and put a little bit of little juice in it here.
All right, we have been watching cars filter in and out all day. And of course, I finally have Seth here, CEO, on camera. And how's the day been for you? I mean, have you been excited or nervous, or what's been the feeling leading up to this?
Well, leading up to it has been, we talk about inside of IONNA, it's high pressure, low stress. So I'd say yesterday though was a lot of stress. I was up at 1 and 5 a.m. thinking about this morning, but it's been a great day. I mean, there's been people cycling in and out. I think we've had almost 200 different cars come in. Everyone's gotten charged first try. So I think the team is energized by this. It demonstrates what we've been trying to show to the public, that we're serious about charging and really making a difference in the infrastructure space in this country.
Right. And so for those who don't know, I mean, what the process to get to where we are today, where people are literally like lining up to charge, and they're all like you said, it's working. Everyone here seems really happy, which is unusual for a lot of charging areas that I've been to, where it's usually someone's upset about it not working. Someone else is upset about the fact that someone else is charging to 100%. I mean, it's just like, and here we have 10 stalls, first of all, which really helps with the throughput in case someone is stuck.
I'll tell you, look, IONNA is for those that don't know, is a joint venture between eight car companies. I started February 1st, rather, which was really the start of operations for the company. So we went from February 1st, which was I was employee number 1, to where we are today, which is a real charging site. And not just any charging site, but something totally different with this Rechargery. You can imagine just building a company is unbelievable in and of itself. But we signed this site back in June of this year. We started construction October 1st, October 2nd, and here we are today about to go live. So today's soft launch, Next Friday is what we call public beta, so we'll be open to the public here and multiple sites around the country. And then we have other sites right behind that will be opening in 2025. So the team that we've hired, honestly, are just incredible. They wake up every single day thinking about how they're going to improve that driver experience and deliver a different value in this market to really unblock the barriers for electric vehicle adoption.
Right. So you said there's a few sites opening before the end of the year?
So we'll have at least 4 sites opening next Friday.
Okay. Which locations, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So Springfield, Ohio, Scranton, Pennsylvania, Willoughby, Ohio, Apex, North Carolina, right here. We've announced Houston in Houston, Texas, Abilene, Kansas as well.
Yep.
Those are coming right behind it.
Cool.
And then you'll see some announcements pretty soon about 4 more sites that have just started construction, and there's way more behind it that are coming really fast.
Well, I'm selfishly excited. I drive through Abilene all the time in Kansas, and I've got best friends at Scranton. So
awesome. We're counting on you stopping by there.
I'll be going to see all of them.
I love it.
And I mean, yeah, what's like the kind of the short and long term goals? I mean, people have seen a lot of companies enter the charging space, and it's been mixed reactions. And so a lot of times when a new automaker comes out, people are like, okay, is this really going to work? Like or is this just going to be like another come and go?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the real long-term goal that you think will actually work and set yourself apart?
Yeah, so we've announced 30,000 charging stalls by the end of the decade. That is our goal. That's our mission.
That's
Everybody
huge.
wakes up every morning thinking about that number, and we're chipping away at it. So that's what we've announced as one bookend. The other bookend is what we're launching this year, and then we'll be making more announcements next year about how we're planning on scaling that. But I think one of the things that sets us apart, and you see in some of our messaging and communication, is we don't talk about things until it's real. So we've set out what the goal is, but really what it is we want to demonstrate to the public, versus just telling them about it. And I think you saw it today where we really didn't talk a lot about this site other than, hey, we broke ground.
Yep.
And I think there was a lot of doubt of, could they actually get it done this year? And I mean, we went fast to get this thing done, and every site's going at the same speed.
Yeah, and now as far as sites, continuity across sites, I mean, what's going to be the same type of thing across sites, but also what's unique about each site?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there'll be some sites like this where it's a ground-up build by IONNA, which is really a rechargery where we are doing everything to provide an amenity. And then other locations, we're looking for the right partners to ensure that there's consistency from a user experience standpoint, whether that's access to bathrooms, access to vending, access to food, access to amenities, proximity of the actual venue to the charging place, covered parking, etc. How do you get a consistent customer experience? And then you couple that with reliability, uptime, and the actual experience of the dispenser, and that's really the DNA of what IONNA is trying to deliver here.
It makes a difference. I mean, even over in the gas world, I mean, you have people that will look for Buc-ee's if they know one exists, and even like Circle K or like, I don't know, a bunch of different, there's brand loyalty because people will go to gas stations and are like, you know what, these are typically a little bit better than the rest.
Yeah.
And so it does make a difference to have IONNA like stand out. And with all the manufacturers, I mean, you said 8 OEMs are actually kind of working together with this.
Yeah.
How has that process been? I mean, do you see them learning from each other? Are you learning from them? Like why? I guess some people might wonder, why would it take 8 OEMs to do this? And is that too many cooks in the kitchen, or is that actually brilliant camaraderie?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, look, I think we look at it as we've got 8 strong partners today to help build IONNA, right? To move at the speed that we're moving at and to deliver the quality that we're trying to deliver, it takes that level of partnership. And so, we're excited that as we continue to work with all the car manufacturers, being able to test, make sure the integration's there, et cetera, that we can deliver that unique customer experience. So I think having the 8 OEMs as partners in this thing and as part of this joint venture is really what's going to help set us apart from what's in the market and solve charging once and for all. And we look at charging as being, there's been 4 phases of charging. From the beginning of, hey, just getting chargers out there in the ground, the semblance of a network, fixing uptime. This 4th phase, which we believe that we're on the cutting edge of, is how do you then take a reliable charge network and up-level that from an experience standpoint to deliver something different from an overall customer experience? That's what IONNA's trying to go build right now.
Yeah, I hope it's a wake-up call to some of the chargers that are maybe known for less reliability. And I mean, as far as the keeping of the reliability, the uptime, I mean, what's your strategy to like prove to people that these are actually going to work?
Yeah, the easiest way to describe it is we will not let this fail. So, the team understands that if it requires dropping parts of a helicopter, we joke around, then that's what you go do, right? So, at the end of the day, we talk about a say-do ratio. We are fully accountable, IONNA is. It doesn't matter what charger manufacturer or other vendors that we use. IONNA's name is on it. IONNA needs to deliver. So we're doing everything from stocking our own parts. We've got our own trucks that we're going to roll. It really becomes, if you really feel ownership of it, it's a all hands on deck to make this stuff work. Our job then is to figure out how to scale that in a way that's efficient when you think about how many we're trying to build. but there are no excuses. We need to deliver for customers and make what you see here today a reality across the country.
Yeah, and as far as the site level type stuff, I mean, this is like clearly, 5 charger, 10 stall, a mixture of NACS and CCS. Do you see that? Like, are you guys using this as a beta test of like, okay, the I guess 4-to-6 ratio, see how that works? Or are you going to see more and more NACS as more cars roll out with that?
Yep.
And also the size. I mean, is this like a pretty normal size for IONNA, or are you going to have a variety of smaller and bigger ones too?
Yeah, we're really trying to stay at about an average of 12 across our sites. So you'll see things, you might see a couple here and there of 8-stall sites. Our site in Houston will be 8 stalls just based upon the size of land we were able to acquire. But really we're trying to build larger sites, and so this really should become typical of what you see across our network, and maybe even bigger than that, right? And so then you couple that with having flexibility from a cord perspective, NACS and CCS. We'll continue to evaluate based upon what demand we have, and we've got parts on hand we can go in and swap over time as we need to for cords.
That's awesome. Well, we're definitely excited to see this, and obviously the turnout, the impressions of everyone. I've been walking around talking to everyone, getting their impressions, and the first thing they say is, that was easy.
Yeah, that's what we want, right? We want it to be easy, and then for them to talk about the overall experience they had at the site, right? So if we can stop talking about reliability and how easy it was to plug in and talk about the rest of it, then I think we've all won in this space.
Yeah, it's cool to see it here with some character. I mean, that's hard sometimes with charging stations, is providing some sort of character. I mean, Apex is actually a pretty adorable town. You have this really cool, basically ancient gas station, and it's cool to see it kind of a new type of refueling station. I'm excited to check out more IONNA sites in the future.
Awesome.
As an avid road tripper, I'll be looking for them because I don't want to show up after 18 hours and be like, oh, this charger doesn't work.
I love it. We look forward to seeing you at the sites.
All right, so we've continually been cycling through. We even have a Bolt over there, but you know who else drove a Bolt here is Jim here. Jim's EV Adventures. I see a Bolt, but also an Ioniq 5.
Correct.
Yet you drove a Bolt, and how far did you drive?
540 miles one way, and 5 charging stops.
Okay.
Because I splash and dash.
Yeah.
I'll learn that from you guys. Yep. It's 10 to 60, 10 to 70.
Okay.
And I can normally get out of there in 35, 45 minutes in that time frame.
Okay.
Which is not the world's greatest, but
yeah.
When you're old like me, you have to go to the bathroom quite often. So.
And you show up to the final destination a little bit more relaxed because you didn't, rush so much.
Correct.
Well, I guess why'd you take the Bolt instead of the Ioniq 5?
Wife wouldn't let me take it.
Okay. Hey, the Ioniq 5 is pretty nice, so I can't blame her necessarily. And how was it charging on this?
It was great. Started out, I think I was at 22% when I plugged in. Immediately popped up to 54 kilowatt hours, which is about top end for a Bolt.
Yep.
And by the time 10 minutes had passed, it had dropped down to 51. So, that's typical charging curve.
Yeah.
I got 85 miles on it now, so I can make it to my next charger. That's
okay.
All that's important is to get to the next charge.
Right. You're seeing more and more of them, especially over here. And yeah, I mean, hopefully we see a lot more of these.
Absolutely.
And I mean, what's the longest you've driven your Bolt? Is it the longest trip you've had in it?
No.
No.
I've actually had a little over 1,500 miles on a round trip.
Wow. Okay.
And, again, that was in early 2023, and the charging infrastructure from 23 to now has changed immensely, especially with Tesla.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So if I had not had access to Tesla, I would not have come in the Bolt.
Yep. Makes sense.
So,
well, it's still cool that you made it, and even not having the EGMP car, you still made it. So
still made it, and I'm going to make it back. So
a real trooper. I found Tom Malogny. How's it going, man?
All right, man. Just served the last of like 20 pizzas that I brought.
Yeah, you were the pizza guy over there, and it was awesome. I mean, I saw we pulled up early, and you were here even earlier charging, and then you discharged with pizzas. Which didn't actually use much juice, let's be honest.
No, it's like a 1,300 watt pizza oven. You know, we ran it for, I don't know, 2 hours. So I used maybe 2.5 kilowatts hour. I mean, dropping the bucket for my 131 kilowatt hour battery pack.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was fun seeing people that had seen me making the pizzas in videos, like the race to Florida, and then to come here and get a slice, so it was fun.
People light up around pizza. Besides the pizza, obviously that was great. How was the rest of it? I mean, you used the charger earlier, you kind of saw how it charged your truck, and then everyone else. I mean, you've also heard people's opinions throughout the day. What's been the average perception?
So pretty much overwhelmingly positive. I think most people have talked about how they like the ergonomics of the Alpatronic units. They like the connector holster. They like the screens. They like the cable management, the articulating arm that comes out. It seems like it's really well built and robust. You know, we haven't experienced the Alpatronics much here in the U.S. like Europe has. So I think this is kind of a step up from some of the DC fast charging equipment that everybody here is used to.
Right.
So, you know, let's hope that it's as reliable as we hear.
Yep.
But pretty much everybody here, I think, enjoyed the charging experience.
Right. Yeah. Any negative perception of anything, or it's just been?
There's really nothing negative going on here today. You know, as far as I heard, you know, there's nobody complained about it. Everything worked fine. Everybody charged for like a penny per kilowatt hour, so nobody could complain about the cost. But that's the thing. We don't know what IONNA's going to charge yet. They haven't announced their full retail pricing. They have like an introductory price. I guess it'd be like 36 or 38 cents per kilowatt hour. But that's an introductory pricing. We don't know what their long-term plans are. So let's hope that, you know, the network doesn't subsidize all these nice buildings and facilities and lounges with, you know, 75 cents a kilowatt hour.
Right.
So we won't know that until we get their official pricing.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to come back here after weeks, months, and the other locations too. I mean, they're opening a bunch simultaneously.
Yeah.
And so it's always like, you know, it's easy to make something look nice and shiny at launch, but then how does it actually hold up, and how will they change some of the American perspective of, oh, our chargers after a year are dud?
100%. You know, like I said, I'm very hopeful. I think this is a very exciting day that we have a new network, a network that's backed by 8 very large automakers with very deep pockets. And so all that sounds great, but how are they going to execute? You know, are they going to hit numbers and targets that they tell us they're going to? How are they going to manage all these sites? The devil's always in the details. So while this is very promising, we have to, and I know Out of Spec is going to, as well as I will, stay on top of this and make sure that they're executing as promised.
Right, exactly. Well, safe travels back. Looking forward to more pizza soon. I feel like anytime I go to an IONNA now with no pizza, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
Yeah, so. I have to admit that might have been the highlight of the day. The charging stuff was just kind of like some side fluff. But anyway, it's been a fun day, and it was good to hang out with you and Kyle for a bit.
Likewise. All right, Jose. Rivian tracker.
Yes.
How did your Rivian track?
My Rivian tracked.
I mean, how was you were one of the early charging sessions.
Yeah. So I was able to charge much earlier today. I came up here from Orlando with my my R1T Gen 2 Tri Max Pack. It's a big boy. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to like precondition the battery before I got here.
Yeah.
Just because this charger's not on the map yet.
Yeah.
But so it was a kind of cool battery. But I did hit 200 kilowatts.
Wow.
Which is, you know, about 475, 480 amps on these, and it held there for a little bit and did well. Super easy user experience. Super friendly. Tap Apple Pay, tap the card to charge. Don't need to download an app or anything. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. And you just plug in and start charging, and the handshake was super fast. Connectors clicked fast, and everything was just super great. I love this kind of place. I hope they build more of. I mean, I know they're going to build more of these, but I hope we see way more of these out here in the country. Definitely in Florida. Love something like this.
Yeah.
And I think that this will bring kind of a sense of community to places like this, where like, you know, you can have hosts like meetups and little events and partake in like local foods in the little market and whatnot. So it was a great time.
Yeah, I think Florida needs some more of these, some AC. You can escape the heat, get inside.
Yeah.
And you're right, like the community aspect. It is funny. We go to an Electrify America in a Walmart parking lot, and then we're just a couple guys talking in a Walmart parking lot. Like that's not exciting.
Nothing exciting about that. And maybe if we're lucky, that Walmart has a Dunkin' and we can go in and get some coffee.
Right.
But no, or the sketchy back alley somewhere.
Yeah.
We have a lot of EVGos in Orlando that are like behind a bank somewhere. It's just sketchy. This is really pretty though. This is nice. It's in a community, and it'll probably never be as busy as it is today.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Like, you know, you'll come here, you'll charge, you'll hang out, grab some food, snacks, and be on your merry way, you know. And I think that this will help with the community aspect. So I'm looking forward to see more of these IONNA rechargeries around the country.
And as a road tripper, I mean, what's your impression on the location?
Yeah, so I'm not too familiar with this area of North Carolina, to be completely frank. It seems to be very, suburban, rural area. Apex seems to be a small little town next to a railroad here, so that's really nice. It doesn't seem like, I don't know exactly in terms of where highways are to know if we're close to them.
Yeah, we're like a few minutes off the highway, which I think that's been the rumbling a little bit, but I think it's also somewhat intentional. There's two balances to strike. The highway cruising, I want to pop off, charge, pop back on, which is great. I mean, especially the best chargers are ones that I've seen in Ohio, where it's you're on a turnpike, you exit, it's on the exit, you don't even leave the highway. It's just right there. But then if you're urban charging, which a lot of people around here might want or need, and if you have no charging at home and maybe you can't because you're a landlord or whatever, this is great to exist, and then you don't necessarily want to go to the highway to charge. So I think we need both, and if they are indeed going to hit their number of 30,000 charging spots by the end of 2030.
Wow.
I'm excited to see and curious to see the percentage of which ones are made for highway cruising versus more residential stuff. And I think they're targeting a bit more of the urban charging.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, Jordan, there's definitely a difference there. Yeah, if you're road tripping and you're on a highway, I want to get off, I want to charge, and I want to be on my way, right?
Yep.
But something like this, where it's more residential, more suburban, more apartment complexes are coming up in suburban America.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't have chargers, or maybe they do, but they only have a few little ones. And so something like this gives the opportunity for someone to come out maybe once a week, charge up their vehicle, and go on with their day, right?
Yeah.
But also hang out and get a little bit of work, or have a community where you can have friends that everybody comes and charges at the same time and hangs out, and then you grab food or whatever, and then you get coffee or whatever, and you do stuff. So I definitely think it, and I think the question then becomes, maybe are these 400 kilowatt chargers, are they maybe too fast for urban?
Right. That's always a thought for me, is I either want to charge instantly or charge but spend some time there and get some work done,
right?
Which means I'm not even that upset if I'm sometimes in a car that charges slowly, because I'm more time to get some work done. I mean, you and I know what working anywhere and everywhere is like.
Exactly.
And so it's maybe eventually we'd see a mix. Maybe there'd be I've seen this in Germany a few times, which I thought was brilliant, where they had high power Alpitronic chargers, and then they also had some 40 kilowatt chargers over there, because maybe some people want to actually have a coffee and sit down for an hour. Of course, then you have to worry about maybe a bigger building, more throughput that way.
Sure.
It becomes the more cafe mindset.
Sure, yeah.
But we're in this really fascinating place in this EV breakthrough of how are these different places going to work? It looks super cool, and the press photos and everything are going to be people doing stuff and enjoying their time. But what's really going to happen in a year? What's this going to look like?
It is going to be interesting to see this in a year. We'll have to come back and take a peek. It will definitely be a stop when I go through North Carolina. If I go through this direction, I'll definitely want to stop here again and take a peek.
Well, we should do a 1-year birthday party.
Absolutely.
Everyone here, just come back here in a year.
Second Out of Spec meetup will be here in a year, and we'll see these trees grown in place and see how they've done, and we'll take a kind of a state of affairs, and hopefully everything is still working nicely, and maybe by then IONNA will have more of these rechargeries open around the country.
Yeah, so I guess I want to get your pick too as well, because I'm a Tesla owner. I have an awesome audience who do some referrals, and so I get free supercharging effectively.
Yeah.
You have the same thing with Rivian. You're a Rivian tracker, Rivian journalist.
Yeah.
You have Rivian referrals, which gives you free charging at RAND, Rivian Adventure Network.
Yep.
If you're on a road trip, I mean, I'm picturing a lot of Tesla people in my situation probably just going to superchargers.
Right.
Why would someone choose this over Rivian Adventure Network in your case?
No, I wouldn't. And that's the thing, it all depends. If you are someone like me who has free charging, I'm definitely going to take advantage of the Rivian Adventure Network charging, right? Also, as a Rivian owner, if you have a Rivian and you're charging at a Rivian Adventure Network, you're going to get lower pricing. Now, Have they announced what the pricing here is going to be yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it being cheaper than like a Rivian Adventure Network. Most in the East Coast are within the mid 30s per kilowatt hour. So I can't imagine it being cheaper than that. And of course, as Rivian Adventure Network is now opening up to other EVs, that will be a little bit more pricey. So at that point, you'll have to see, okay, what makes more sense.
Right.
But really, like right now, there isn't really a Rivian Adventure Network site around here. The nearest one is maybe 30, 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
So for right now, it's not really a concern. But I can see as they start building more of these, and maybe there's a Rivian Adventure Network site there, it's just really going to depend. And it all depends on the amenities.
Yeah.
You know, Rivian is now building their outposts. You know, Joshua Tree just open. They have one in Yosemite. Those are really cool because it's kind of like this in the sense that you have chargers, but you also have an area where you go in, sit down, get coffee, relax, buy merchandise, whatever it may be. So this idea of like an outpost, a chargery, like it's really cool, and I think that we're going to continue to see that because gas stations are not cool by any means.
Yeah.
But there used to be like a time, I feel like, and I feel like they're trying to reminisce a little bit on that here, where like it was cool to go to the gas station and you knew everybody who was there and you could hang out while you were filling your vehicle up. And that kind of went away, and now I think we can do that with the EV revolution.
Yeah, you're right. I can just picture, you know, this was a gas station 99 years ago.
Wow.
And I just picture like 2 cars pulling up, getting gas, and the owner getting out and being like, how do you like your car? Which now feels like the dumbest thing ever, but like back then they were going through this revolution like what we're doing.
Right.
And so it's like you get people talking around the water cooler, or in this case the EV charger, and they're all like, how do you like your car? So you're right, it really does come down to price and location and amenities. And I think they have the amenities nailed. Location varies indefinitely. I mean, whether you're on a road trip or just passing through.
If you're local to this vicinity, this is great.
Yeah.
But if I'm driving through to go, let's say, to Asheville, North Carolina, or something like that, this might not necessarily be in my way. It's not near a highway. I want to, if I'm road tripping, unless I'm taking a detour to come to Apex and experience, which is, by the way, a really cute town, super awesome.
Yeah.
But unless I'm coming out of my way to come here, this isn't going to be in my way.
Definitely.
And that's no deterrent, you know. IONNA picked this location for good reasons. I'm sure they did their research, so I'm sure there's going to be a good reason why they put it here.
Yep. Well, great thoughts as always. For more thoughts, check out Rivian Tracker. And we'll just be hanging out here for the rest of the day. Still cooking, still got people charging, but I think we're getting closer to the end.
Yes, we are.
All right, we've got Joe, the plumber of Carolina, and your e-Transit, which we saw charging earlier. Well, how'd it charge, first of all?
Charged 115 kilowatts for probably 8 minutes, dropped to a low of maybe 83 kilowatts after 10 minutes.
Okay. So pretty sweet to see this out here. I mean, we've seen a million cars go through, at least it feels like it. But you're one of the unique, I guess, well, first of all, you brought a van, which we're not seeing many of those. But also, you know, some commercial use out of this. Can you tell me a little bit about just your Ford commercial lifestyle?
So it gets charged at our shop every night. To 80%. We drive it maybe 80 to 120 miles a day. And usually return maybe at a low of 10%, but usually between 20 and 30%.
Okay.
So we're using 50-60% of the battery a day out of a 67 kilowatt hour battery, which I believe is now bigger. I believe this is not available in 67. It's only available in 89 kilowatts now.
Okay,
So range is be even better, I guess, on that.
So you must save a lot of fuel.
Oh God, so we used to burn about $1,100 a month in gas. Now it's about $120 in electricity with $1,000 a month savings.
Wow.
In one vehicle.
Wow.
Right.
And you have some Lightnings too, I understand?
So we have 3 Lightnings and 1 Mach-E.
Okay.
The Lightnings replaced every truck we have, including diesel trucks. Their tow rating only being 10,000. If you tow over that is a problem, but we tow at 10,000. And it will do it better than your diesel will do.
That's amazing.
And for free. Like drives for free is what it feels like. It costs nothing to drive. Even fast charging on the highway is still cheaper than your gas. And the driving experience is faster. and better and smoother and quieter.
Nice.
My God, it's the fastest thing you've ever driven in your life.
Yeah.
And it costs nothing to drive.
So you said you have charging at the shop, level 2 charging, I'm guessing?
So we have chargers at home, level 2 chargers at home.
Yep.
Ford F-150s came with chargers.
Yep.
We only hooked up one, 100 amps.
Yep.
It's hard to get 300 amps out of your house. So we have one at 100 amps that will charge at the rate of 80 amps.
Okay.
And we have an Emporia that will charge at the rate of 48. None of them are turned up that high. We leave them down around 30 amps or so.
Cool.
And charge 4 cars at home and 1 van at the shop. The van lives off of a Grizzly.
Okay.
Turned all the way down to its lowest setting, I think 3 kilowatts.
Yeah.
And it charges slow overnight.
Yep.
If you need it faster, you can turn it up faster.
Yep.
But we don't need it. Drive the wheels off of it, plug it in, drive the wheels off of it, plug it in.
So if you do have to go over the range of your cars, is that when you might be able to see these things
Absolutely.
being useful? These residential high-powered charging?
I would love for yes. So if you exceed range, which you will never do with the Lightnings or the Mach-E's locally, you will on the highway, of course.
Yeah.
But locally, if ever you saw yourself driving a couple hundred miles in one day, this is great.
Yeah.
This was easier than the other charging networks that we've been using for the last couple years.
Right.
This is a couple years old now.
Yep.
This is not new.
Yep.
The access here was easier, right? Being covered was better. The hoses reached longer, or the cords reached longer.
Yeah.
This was great. There needs to be a lot of this.
Yeah.
Right? Any of the manufacturers who are watching this, there needs to be a lot of this.
Yeah.
Everybody, every car you see driving would do this if you would make it easy for them to do.
Yep. I agree. And you've got the unique, front charging port, and so you're right. Some stations and some other networks could be hard to do, but having the reach really helps. And you're right. Being right off the highway, we're not too far from the highway, but especially in town, you can really pair it with pretty much any adventure. So hopefully we see a lot more of these popping up around here, because I'm sure you've got a pretty wide service area that you work with.
We do, right? We stay within probably a 40-mile radius.
Okay.
Or so. So it's small as part of this metro area.
Yep.
But we have been here for 20 years.
Yep.
Doing the same driving. So we have a good long history of what it costs and what it takes to drive around. And having to turn vehicles over so often because of oil leaks or coolant leaks.
Yep.
Never had any problem with engines blowing up, transmissions blowing up.
Yep.
But there's other mechanical things that stop you from being able to use this. We don't have any of that with electric at all.
That's awesome.
Drive it as fast as you can.
And it is pretty quick, isn't it?
It's just easy. I don't know another way to describe it. It's easy. It's hard to, I guess you could calculate your cost of your oil changes and such, whether you're doing them or paying somebody to do them. But the fuel savings alone, you buy a $50,000 van and you put $50,000 worth of gas in it, you have a $100,000 van, right? If you buy a $50,000 electric van and you put $5,000 in electricity in it, you paid for the van.
It makes a big difference.
In a very short period of time. So I see no reason not to do it.
Yeah.
None, especially with more charging available.
It's very cool. Cool to see you come out, give it a good test run, and hopefully give them the feedback that, they need to start building more of these. They know that. They're like, oh, we're trying to do as many as possible.
I hope they do.
Seth is stressed out, the CEO. He's like, we got to get these out there.
Yeah, he needs more as fast as he can.
It's cool that people want more, and that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, so we need covered places with fast, reliable chargers.
Yep.
With facilities.
Yep.
Right?
It's brilliant.
Nobody wants to park at a Tesla charger in a homeless encampment.
Yep.
That's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
So this has been great here.
And ChemPower came by as well and brought their Lightning. We should go over and visit those guys. Their headquarters are not far away. So shout out ChemPower. Fisker charging right here tells you into the decimal of kilowatt. Mike, that's pretty sick.
That is awesome.
Yeah. I didn't know it did that at all. Oh wait, it just stopped.
What happened?
At 70%. Do you have a charge limit?
I don't think so.
Uh-oh. It says preparing to charge. I didn't hit anything. I didn't touch anything.
It says finished on the display.
Yeah, it says finished. I think there must be a charge limit.
It must have hit 7.
Oh, left daytime running lamp malfunction.
Oh, well. Well, that will never be fixed.
They're going around and collecting all the data from what was learned today. And that's the IONNA team right there who made all of this happen. We are now reaching towards the end of the day, and that is the out of spec meetup, which was really fun. And the launch of the IONNA charging network, more importantly, of course.
Right.
And
we're here for them.
Yeah, we're here for them. And how'd it go from your side? I didn't even see you all day.
I didn't see you all day. We somehow like wandered around the building reverse of each other. But yeah.
And I didn't even see Tom till he was leaving.
Yeah, 1 million people, 1 million charging sessions.
There's some stats somewhere. Right. Maybe we'll do a podcast with all the stats, because they said they'll give us their like load profile on the grid and
that'll
all the
be
how
really
many kilowatt hours.
Interesting. I mean, I saw Brandon Flash running around all day. I don't know what he was.
Yeah, he was testing. There was like some cable thing, and they sorted that, and I don't know. Everything seemed to work. Everyone charged.
But yeah, so many
even a Fisker charged.
So many perfect charging sessions. The Energica, I showed that on camera. It actually didn't charge at first.
Oh, okay.
It threw some fault, and then they had to just manually start the charge on the back end.
Oh.
But they had never tested with Energica because no one has Energicas.
I'm glad this all worked. So it was really cool. Like, I was hoping we would see some problems. Yeah. And it's great to get their support staff. Like, they had their team here.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have an issue at an IONNA station, you call for like help desk. The help desk people were here learning how all this works real time, which is amazing. So it was great, I think, from all sides.
Yeah.
And that's the way to start a network.
Yeah.
If any other charge point operator is doing a big network, call us.
It was
this
incredible.
Was great.
The guy with the Energica, he plugged it in. It gave a fault. He thought it was his fault.
Oh.
But then someone ran out with a laptop because I guess they got a ping or something. And they were like, "There's an issue. Wait."
It's amazing. That's what we wanted to do. And then really, other than that one thing, we had like, I don't know how many sessions, a bunch.
Yeah.
All working perfectly.
Just
we still have a couple
all day.
top charging now. Raphael's Cybertruck is sick. Jose's topping up his Rivian before his trip back to Florida.
The Hummer's doing the Bolt thing, just 100%.
Dude, this was amazing. This was really cool. And it was great to see so many people.
Huge turnout, a huge variety of EVs. We saw almost everything.
Yeah, a lot of different people, a lot of different cars. People came from all over. Louisiana, Ohio,
Canada,
DC, Canada.
Yep.
It was crazy. Yep. Absolutely insane. So shout out to everyone who came. I don't think we'll make this a regular thing.
Yeah. Someone was like, "Oh, you're going to do this for every IONNA opening?" I was like,
gosh. No.
We're not an event company.
No. It's like, like we mentioned earlier, a huge shout out to IONNA. They're the ones who arranged the like traffic flow and the sign up, and it's really Catherine. She's great. So shout out Catherine. And there's more to do. There goes a Nero ripping it. Burn out in the Nero. Hell yeah. See, our viewers are cool.
Right.
When have you ever seen a Nero just lay rubber?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that. That was amazing. Anyway, pretty surreal to get to see everyone. That was amazing. So maybe, I'm not going to say we're ever going to do another one, but I'm sure we'll do one at some point.
Yeah. Well, we were talking to like everyone's thoughts were like, okay, this is really cool, really well put together. How's it going to look in a year?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, let's do a 1-year birthday party here. Like everyone come back here in 1 year.
This is like Mecca.
Yeah,
we all come here every year.
Every year we do the.
Can we do it when it's warmer out?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. There's probably not enough room here, but maybe we'll do another thing somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, everyone's interested in how well this will hold up, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
We all see the photos of new EA installations.
Yeah.
And then after like 6 months, it's like this could be a relic.
It could be a disaster. It could be spiders all up under there.
Right.
That's the thing with canopies. You get spiders.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the end of this video. Shout out to IONNA. If you're going to launch a network, that's how to do it. That's how to instill confidence. Got a nice Hummer rolling up right now.
Dang.
Oh my gosh. The station's quivering in fear.
Over there, just a lot of kilowatt hours over there in that corner.
And thanks so much for watching. Thanks to everyone who came. It was probably a shitty video, but it was a fun time.
It's a fun time. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. So thanks to everyone who came. We'll see you on another one again soon. Goodbye. I just want one of those orange hats. Those are really nice.